Next News. Breaking news.
Gas prices are no longer just about filling your tank. They become the next major political war heading into the midterms. Trump allies are delivering one unified message that Democrats do not actually want cheap energy for American families. Oil markets are swinging wildly over Iran tensions, with prices first surging and then reversing as peace looks closer. This volatility hits every wallet through inflation, groceries, and trucking costs. The Trump energy message is locked in and ready to expose the real agenda. And the battle over gasoline prices, it shapes the entire direction of the American economy. One side stands for energy abundance, domestic drilling, and lower costs that lift working families. The other pushes climate transition, climate change, and emissions rules that force higher prices and restrict choice. State governors like Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker, they add punishing taxes and regulations that make prices even worse in their states. Trump allies are framing this as a direct attack on affordability. Gas prices are psychologically powerful because people feel them instantly at the pump. This fight decides whether America gets abundance or forced austerity. And before we continue, I do want to share something that connects directly to protecting your family's health during these uncertain times. Now, you've probably seen the clip. It's gone viral. Joe Rogan sitting with Mel Gibson talking to people about people close to him who went through some serious health struggles and then saw dramatic turnarounds. Joe Rogan brings up light-based therapies and how they impact the body at a cellular level. Gibson just says it's straight, this stuff works. Now, that got my attention because in my own life I watched something very similar unfold. For a long time, my wife was dealing with constant discomfort and anxiety. One of those situations where nothing seemed to help until we discovered red light therapy through Jonathan Otto. The results were incredible and changed everything for our family. I did an interview with him over the weekend. It just dropped on Sunday. You got to check it out. It was a wide-ranging, amazing interview. But there's a link down below, myredlight.com. Make sure you use NNN25 for individual items or NNN30 for bundles so you can get started today. Now let's get back to the gas price fight that every American is watching. Now the penition narrative is back in full force. As Trump allies mock the doomers, predicting endless crisis. Markets are already stabilizing, futures are crashing, and after the initial spike. So this reversal shows that confidence itself is political warfare. Trump supporters are being told to stand firm because his strategy ultimately wins while establishment voices continue to spread fear. Derek Evans posting, "Send this to every liberal Democrat complaining about the current gas prices under President Trump." It's just a friendly reminder. The Democrat leadership not only defended high gas prices under Joe Biden, they said it was a good thing so more people would buy electric vehicles. Never forget this, folks.
Every liberal Democrat who's complaining about the current gas prices under President Trump, so you can remind them that Democrat leadership not only defended the high gas prices under Joe Biden, they actually said it was a good thing.
Yes. Of course, the more pain we are all experiencing from the high price of gas, the more benefit there is for those who can access electric vehicles.
Yeah. Remember Pete Buttigieg? Yeah, remember that guy? High gas prices are good. It's going to force everyone to buy electric. So Democrats, they once defended sky-high gas prices as a way to push EVs, and President Trump has a sharply different forecast for when relief arrives. This is, we remind you what President Trump said before he went to China. Gas prices will drop tremendously once the Strait reopens, and hundreds of oil ships are waiting to flood the market.
Do whatever is necessary. And as soon as this war is over, which will not be long, you're going to see oil prices drop, and you're going to see a stock market, which is already at the highest point in history, go through the roof. You're going to see the golden age of America, frankly, and you're seeing it now. So as soon as this is over, don't forget, you have hundreds of ships that are loaded up with oil that want to come out. As soon as they come out, we're going to have a gusher of oil, and you're going to have inflation that goes way down. Now, with all of this, inflation is much lower than it was under Biden. Biden had the highest inflation in the history of our country. Inflation is nothing by comparison, but our inflation is just short term. Because if you go from just before the war, we were for the last 3 months 1.7%. And now what you have is as soon as this war is over, you're going to see inflation go down to probably 1.5%.
That was before President Trump left for his big China trip, reminding us repeatedly, as soon as this thing is over, wait to see gas prices. And of course, Gavin Newsom is, one California governor is instead blaming refineries. Gavin Newsom dragged for Memorial Day gas price gaslighting. California governor facing criticism for California's record gas prices tried to blame Chevron. But as everyone is quick to point out, Gavin's policies are the reason gas is $3 higher in California than any other state, going so far as Chevron had to post signs at all of their gas stations, reminding people as they filled up their tank. Let's go to the 10-minute drill with their 90-second hit.
Last week, Gavin Newsom turned heads when he declared war on Chevron. Posting from his Governor Newsom press office Twitter account, Californians, if you're hitting the road this holiday weekend, be sure to avoid Chevron. Now, remember here, Gavin Newsom's been at war with Chevron for years now because Chevron moved refineries out of the state due to Gavin Newsom's own policies. No one moves refineries just because they want to. They move because it's no longer economically sound. So Gavin Newsom's been after Chevron for years because of that. But declaring war on a major state employer like Chevron is a bizarre move, but as people were very quick to point out, California has gas prices that are more than $2, in some cases $3 higher than any other state, and it's because of Gavin Newsom and his insane policies. For example, this person in Southern California pointed out that there's one area where you can get gas for $3 cheaper if you drive 4 miles across the border into Arizona. How could Chevron do this? Again, it is not Chevron, it's Gavin Newsom. But Gavin Newsom has been dragged to high heaven for the absurdity of this broadside, particularly going into Memorial Day weekend, from people like Comfortably Smug, Steve Forbes, and others who have pointed out that Gavin Newsom did this.
Yeah, you can just point the finger right at Gavin Newsom and this war on Chevron, drawing heavy fire for ignoring his own policies. And now the national average, Eric Spracklin writes, just moved in the opposite direction. The national average for gas is down 4 cents from last week. Thank you, President Trump. So this is the still shot from Fox News. Today, it is down 4 cents from yesterday. So that's a good direction, right? So gas down 4 cents nationally. And one White House voice, Kevin Hassett, claims it proves consumers are still upbeat.
The thing that I've seen when I look at credit card data and other things that I can get for the private sector is that while people have been spending more money at gas stations, they've been spending more money at everything else, which means that they're still very, very optimistic about the state of the economy, and they should be. If you look at GDP right now, it's north of 4%. And so despite this disruption, all the momentum that we built with the big, beautiful bill and AI and everything else is really, what the main economic story of the U.S. is.
Yeah, I mean, what?
So consumer sentiment is optimistic despite the numbers. Now, Senator Ted Cruz laying out exactly why Democrats never wanted cheaper gas to begin with. He says, don't let the Democrats fool you. They don't care about gas prices. Under Joe Biden, gas was over $6. Democrats are actively trying to ban the internal combustion engine. Let's check in with the Ted Cruz clip here from his podcast, The Verdict.
Let's put gas prices in context. Under Joe Biden, gas prices soared to over $6 a gallon. That really hurt. People were feeling the pain from that. By the way, the Democrats at the time were celebrating that. You had Democrats who were saying they wanted gas to be $10 a gallon. Remember, these are the same people who were trying to ban the internal combustion engine and force everyone to buy an electric vehicle. So they wanted high gas prices, and they got what they wanted. President Trump came in, and in the first year of his second term, we saw gas prices drop nearly in half to about $3 a gallon. That made a huge difference. That lifted a big load off the shoulders of a lot of Americans. And it was the result of common sense, sound economic policies, ending the regulatory assault on oil and gas. Where we are now is gas prices have gone back up some. They're about $4.50 a gallon. So basically, we've given back about half of what we gained. And it's not complicated why. And anytime you have a military conflict in the Middle East, gas prices go up. That uncertainty in the Middle East predictably has an impact on gas prices. What I will say is I think, number one, that impact is short term.
Yep.
Number two, if and when we reach a good resolution in the Middle East with Iran, I think we will see the long-term trend of gas prices go down and go down significantly.
And I think Ted Cruz is absolutely right. He spelled out the long pattern of Democrats celebrating high prices and fresh U.S. strikes on Iran are now pushing crude back towards $95. The Kobesi letter, U.S. oil prices reverse losses and rise towards $95 a barrel as U.S. military strikes in Iran increase uncertainty around the peace deal. Here is the market chart, $94.18 a gallon. So Iran tensions are lifting oil prices again, but one Illinois candidate says the real damage comes from governors like Pritzker and Newsom. This is Indiana's gas prices. Our problem is not Trump or the Iran war. Our problem is greedy Democrat governors, with Pritzker and Newsom being some of the worst examples. Place blame where it should be. Governors matter more than president when it comes to situations like this. Blame Pritzker.
I'm gassing up right now. Let's see where I'm at. We're going to cut this off at 100, but the car could take more. And it's because this is the price right now. Some of this could be fixed though. For people in Illinois, we actually suffer under so many taxes that are added on top of gas prices that it makes an increase that is national feel unbearable for people who live in Chicago, Cook County, or even just Illinois. What a governor would do if they actually cared about their citizens, because that's what the job of a governor is, and also a mayor. The governor could suspend the gas tax, the fuel tax, and that's what a caring governor would do. And right now, if we're looking at the Cook County tax along with the Chicago tax, all of that together, if they were to suspend those things, that would bring down gas prices probably near $1. So I don't want to hear Democrats whining about gas prices being high, because if they wanted to do something about it, they would get industrial.
They would get industrial. They would cut those taxes. But that's, of course, what they won't do. State taxes and regulations are a bigger factor. And critics are already being told they'll soon thank Trump for the drop. Trump Daily Post. I'll be waiting for every lib and penition to be thanking their president for the cheap prices. The left and doomers are going to have another bad week this week, Trump Daily Post. Crude oil futures prices are crashing. Take a look at some of these crude oil futures. According to a live Google chart here, 91.73. Yeah, looks like they are. They're definitely down. Crude oil futures. So we're going to continue to track all this because we know it affects your wallet. But the peak revelation is that cheap gasoline has become symbolic of America First economic policy. Iran tensions drive short-term volatility, but Trump allies are hammering the contrast between Biden-era surges and today's push for deregulation and production. Blue state governors bear direct blame for adding layers of taxes that punish drivers. This is not random market noise. This is a deliberate ideological clash between abundance and restriction. Ordinary Americans are being asked to sacrifice their standard of living for elite priorities, but the fight over gasoline prices has become a symbolic war over the entire direction of the American economy. See, Trump is delivering abundance and lower costs that restore power to working families. Democrats and their governor allies, they exposed themselves by defending high prices before. So don't let them fool you again. Share this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more. Yes or no? Answer me this. Should state governors suspend gas taxes right now to help families? If you haven't done so yet, there's thousands of patriots who already have. They've texted the words raw feed to 844-840-4963. That's the secret number we just set up for you so you can get direct updates straight to your phone from me to bypass the algorithm. Make sure you check out the next news merch shelf. It's below this video. Energy independence is the path to real freedom. And President Trump, he's leading the way.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.